Good morning, YouTube. What is up? Let's make this trading session an amazing trading session. Got about at least 13 minutes before I'm green lighted to take a trade on something, depending on what it does at these liquidity zones. So just gonna refine my markups and see if I can execute properly. Alright, so we got some rejection up here at this liquidity zone and sniper point. A decent little fake out to the upside so far. Trying to take out, potentially go for a new all-time high, which got pretty close up here. But let's see. At least on the 4 hour, what we should pay attention to see if we get a bearish rejection at this zone here. If we do, I'll look for some type of bear setup, at least try to take it down to this level here. If not, the bottom of this level at the 477. So you got, 7-point liquidity zone here. But if we do close within the zone or up here, then on the 4 hour, then that could, be a sign that we want to continue up, which I'm not sure what's going to happen. I just simply wait for the market reaction at these liquidity zones, and then I basically just wait for a 5-minute setup to play out from there. That's on ES. On NQ, you can see we just tagged into this liquidity zone and rejected off. NQ has been just bouncing around these liquidity zones quite a bit recently, so what I'll be looking for is see if we can get a close. To get a close above this sniper point here, then likely we'll want to, at least come back up here or a true test either here or at the top of the zone there. If we close, if we close bullish at all within this liquidity zone, that's a decent sign that we'd want to, continue up. But we still got 10 minutes and we know anything can happen in 10 minutes. On ES, if we get a close below here, the most simple setup would be like a close into the zone kind of below this sniper point. Look for a bearish setup on the 5-minute, potentially take it to here or down to here, but there's always the possibility that we simply don't take any trades at all, which obviously that's always a possibility. Major rejection coming into at 10 o'clock. Which is one of the reasons why I actually like not taking any trades at all until past 10 a.m. Eastern. Because then, it's able to, even I obviously could have taken this setup here if I had marked off, but it's not the way that I trade. Got the live stream going, trying to have some fun.
Cliff. Good morning.
Yo, good morning, Jamaica.
Give me just a second.
Oh, you guys just getting back to the house?
No, I'm mobile
Mm,
right now, but I'm here.
I see. Okay. No worries. It just was, again, I'm getting better at live streaming every day on YouTube and the other ones too, so just
I'm
live
hooking up
streaming.
my headphones so can't nobody hear you.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Just a second. Okay. All right, bro. I'm gonna mute for a second. Bear with me just a moment. I'm about to
Oh, sure.
go get set up at a table.
Okay. All right. In Q, it's quite the rejection underneath this in this zone here. This sniper point here has been holding like crazy. So it's one thing to keep in mind as you see the market play out. We got these points that even as the market pushes up, coming into certain times of the day, you know, it activates or it holds, and you can almost bank on, being able to catch a potential move from that. So we still got some time. Rejecting up here at all-time highs. If we can close below this sniper point here on ES, I'll be looking to potentially, depending if we get a 5-minute setup, that's always the caveat. If you get the 4-hour setup, but you don't get the 5-minute setup, then, you kind of just wait until you get that. And see if we have news happening too. Oh, news already happened, so good on that. ES currently in a spot to where I'm not sure if it's in the middle of this zone. And it gives me way less context in the middle of these liquidity zones than it would if it, closed through or, below this point. If it closed in and below this point, then that's a decent sign that it wants to potentially go lower, which it is, kind of falling. But then from there, we got to find a topside liquidity on 5-minute for a rejection. Yeah, I can hear you. Oh, man, it's
Is it
loud.
loud for you? It is?
Yeah, it's too loud for the stream.
Okay.
So what we'll do is, yeah, since it's loud over there, I'll just talk through anything I'm planning on doing. But obviously, you got, if you see a setup you want to take, go ahead and take it. But in the middle of this liquidity zone here, I'm not sure. It's not giving anything just yet. It's kind of been, yeah, just kind of hanging out in this liquidity zone. Sellers are making a push for sure. In Q, just a bunch of liquidity zones. Nope. Even though we've been rejecting this liquidity zone multiple times, we got 1 rejection, 2 rejection, 3 rejection, 4 rejection. Could be one and actually fall pretty far. With the right setup, you could potentially catch something, but you'd have to wait. Which there's no topside liquidity just yet. We'd have to have some topside liquidity be created, and then from there you could simply wait for it to retest that liquidity and then reject it. So you could potentially catch a pretty crazy fall. All right, 20 seconds. Close back above this sniper point. So it could be a bullish indication. We'd have to see we get back above some of these other points. So like we have this point here. All right, let's analyze on the 4 hour. Oops. All right, so on the 4 hour, another close above here. Haven't been able to close back within this liquidity zone. Closed above the 9 EMA. With the right type of price action setup, we could come back up and test the bottom of this if we get the right setup on the 5 minute, but we did just print bearish from this liquidity zone multiple times. So popped up, printed bearish a couple days ago or yesterday, and then pushed up. No, popped up again and printed bearish again, but we weren't able to get back within this liquidity zone, and we closed above this sniper point here. So ultimately it's, kind of a bullish reading so far, but then you have to wait for price to either get back above this point. Let's see, these like turning points. Got a point here. Cool. Thanks for letting me know, Jamaica. So if we're gonna get price action back up here towards this liquidity zone on ES, we'd have to get above this point here and close above, and then from there you could potentially, because it looks like it is rejecting off of that. With NQ, NQ is, it did close below the sniper point here, but it's kind of rejecting off of, or reacting off of this liquidity zone at the bottom of this liquidity zone. So I'd say, just given how they've both been behaving over the past couple days, ES may be the easier setup to try to catch. If we get, you know, because we rejected off of this sniper zone here, and then we simply came down to this sniper zone. So the fact that we weren't able to close under this sniper zone, even though we pushed down to it, like either, I guess they're almost the same thing, but the sellers lost momentum when we got to this point to where they couldn't, you know, lock in price under that area there. Or the buyers essentially just said, hey, we want to protect price down here, and they started pushing it up. So we'll see if we, you know, in the next hour and 15 minutes, if we're able to get some type of push up to start reclaiming some of these liquidity zones. Like, notice this one here earlier. Actually, see, even earlier over London session, we had a reclaim of this area here, push through, and then get a candle close through. Tried to push down one more time, confirmed, and then pushed up to liquidity, bounced off liquidity, came back down, and look at that perfect wick to the bottom of the strike zone here, to then go right back up to liquidity zone and perfectly tap the top of it. So right now it's just a waiting game. It's been kind of a weird week already, so definitely not trying to force anything. Even though it could just completely tank, even with NQ. So with NQ, we did close below this sniper point, meaning that, you know, sellers were able to say, hey, no, we want price to be under this point, which could mean that they want to reclaim. And we had a bunch of rejections from up here, so it could mean that they want to reclaim some of these areas, but we'd have to see topside liquidity. Oh yeah, 100% a weird week. We'd have to see topside liquidity give us some type of rejection if we're going to continue lower. And so for ES, we're looking for, you know, it to find some type of support. So let's say we get a point here to where this 5-minute candle, for example, prints bullish. Okay, we're getting a lot of volume up, right? So let's say this prints bullish. So we're looking for either this to print bullish, and then for the market to, on the 5-minute, close below. Similar to this setup here, we printed bullish, then the market pushed below and was able to reclaim and stay above, and then from there, you know, went up to the next liquidity. I just wanted to get back up to liquidity. So I'm kind of looking forward to do potentially the same thing if we get back up here. If we're able to reclaim this area one more time, then we'll be looking for, you know, potential confirmation of price wanting to, you know, go from reclaiming this back up to this liquidity up here. And since it's end of week, or getting close to end of week, and then really close to end of month, you take the setups as they happen and take the most probable setup, the most likely one, and just say, hey, when it gets to this point, I'm getting out, because I don't know what'll happen after that. You never know what's gonna happen, but especially it's weird during end of week and end of month. All right, so now we're getting liquidity off of here. We're approaching. see if we can reclaim this. If we reclaim this, then I'll be looking to go long. So even though we got to reclaim this point here, and there is a bunch of 15-minute, we could even try to see if it reclaims on a 15-minute, which will be even a bigger confirmation. So we still got time to see what happens. Right now we just butted up against point of control. And so we'll see if we're able to manhandle point of control as far as from the bullish perspective. Got the most random song stuck in my head right now, Smooth Operator. Once that song gets stuck in your head, it's at least a 3-day, DJ session by your brain of that song on repeat for 3 days straight. Yeah, it's funny and true, huh? Everybody knows when showing their DJs like, we playing some Sade today. Ain't nothing you can do about that. All right, so we're reclaiming. Let's see on a 5-minute really quick. So we got about a minute. So we're getting the reclaim here. So ideally what I would want to see is reclaim above, and then some type of retest after the reclaim would be the most ideal. Sometimes you can, like, let's say if we close here, let's say if we closed above this zone here and reclaim the price. Get rid of this one. Yeah, get rid of that one. So if we get the reclaim here, sometimes we can see it just go crazy, off of the reclaim immediately, but most times it's going to kind of hover around here, because I'm also seeing that on the 15-minute. We have a potential reclaim zone on the 15-minute, which, okay, cool. On the 5-minute, we haven't reclaimed yet, so cool. Got up to about here. Got some sellers kicking in to try to protect price. So let's see if we, on this next candle, can reclaim and hold above. And if we do get the reclaim off of this one, we have two things kind of working right there. We got the 9 EMA. We got the 9 EMA, and then from there we got this reclaim zone. So what this could have been 3 different things that attributed to the exhaustion at the end of that 5-minute candle we're looking at. So remember, we have the 15-minute zone here, so we broke through, and if price can reclaim it on either the 5-minute or 15-minute, then that's a good sign for us to come back up here to this point up here. Let's see, we have a 5-minute, liquidity here. We have this reclaim zone or strike zone here, and then also we have the 9 EMA that's kind of pushing the price down. So this exhaustion here isn't very surprising to me. I'm not looking like, oh, it's bearish. I'm just like, cool, as soon as we get the reclaim, we're gonna try to catch this 5 or 5 to 6 point move potentially, which, and try to keep a decent risk reward. So let's say if this is the candle that breaks through, the most ideal way that I've seen to catch these reclaims up to liquidity is to put your stop a point below the candle that broke. So if this one would have broke through, that would have been not ideal risk reward. It's a huge candle. Let's say if this one closed through with that type of strategy, your stop would be way down here, which not ideal for risk reward. So what we want is, you want to see if this candle breaks. That'd be more ideal, because then the stop would essentially be at, you know, around the 488.50 level, which is more ideal for risk reward setup. So I get my platform ready for a potential entry. If we get that signal, the ideal stop would be under the the 5-minute candle that broke through and closed through. So if this current 5-minute candle in the next 2 minutes closes above the 6,492 and 25 cents level, then we could enter and potentially put our stop down here. Or it'd be at the 488.50 level would be the most ideal in that scenario, but that's not to say we'll get that set up. It could, dink around here for a little bit. It could not give us an entry until the next 15-minute candle closes, because for this resistance here, there sure is a lot of fight, because this was a very solid level. It held the market up, 4 times. We had a push down, push back up, 2, 3. So it was 4 times that it held that market tried to push below here. Then we had, this candle here. So if we're able to reclaim this on the 15-minute or the 5-minute, then that's a really good sign. So we got 1 minute. Let's see if we get a reclaim on the 15-minute. Because we could not get the reclaim in the next minute, and then it could happen on the next 15-minute candle, where it's like all the cells here get exhausted out, and we simply just reclaim on the within the next 5-minute 5-minute candle, or within the next 15-minute candle on the 5-minute chart, and then it potentially goes back up there. But you gotta wait for that reclaim. So it looks like we're not going to get the reclaim on this one. Awesome. So now we just wait and see. All right. So what we had on the 15-minute looks like this. Got some sell orders kicking in. All right, so much suspense. See if we get the reclaim. The buyers are doing their thing. They're They're slowly positioning themselves closer and closer, to getting above this strike zone and also getting above this 9 EMA. So just patiently waiting. See what NQ looking like. So NQ is totally reclaimed. So just gonna draw this just to give an example, because I wasn't paying attention to NQ because it was able to close below that zone, but it's a perfect example of a reclaim. So you have a zone here, pushed up, pushed down, held, closed through. You could either enter here. So like not entering this trade, not at all. I'm not going long on this right now, but I just wanted to show the example of what this looks like. So you have the zone here. You find where the 5-minute candle, created a base that was meaningful. Obviously, this move up here was a big move. This area becomes important, and then you have price push through. It came back up, up to then reject that zone, and then this candle closed through. And then you could wait for the market to come back down, retest it, and then you could potentially try to take it, from here up to this liquidity up here. But the reason I'm not looking at NQ right now is because I didn't like the fact that it did close below this strike zone, or this sniper point. And so for me, the fact, even though we're at this weird place on NQ to where it's like liquidity everywhere, it's just been dinking around. That's why I haven't been trading much NQ as of late. It's in between two just important, sniper or liquidity zones. You can see how the market loves to close at or close to these liquidity zones. All right, let's go back to ES really quick. ES is doing some cool stuff, I guess. But hopefully that made sense as far as, the reclaim, and once price is ready, it'll reclaim those levels. And so if we were looking here, if we simply said, hey, like this is a reclaim zone for us, we would have had a zone here from this push, which we totally could have, and we would have gotten a signal, and our stop would have been here underneath this. Well, actually it wouldn't have, because this is the candle that broke through, so technically the stop would have been a little bit under that one, but since that one wasn't the important zone for me the important zone is this one, because it also lines up with that 15-minute. Here. So yeah, with that, just waiting for price to close above, and then on the 5-minute, and then we're ready to go. Getting some decent price action towards the upside. Let's just hope it doesn't go too crazy while it's reclaiming. So 23 minutes into my green light session to where I could actually trade after the first 30 minutes and nothing, which is fine. It's all about being patient. Noticed all the losses I've had this past week have been from me either being impatient or trying to just like make the idea make sense before I get confirmation. So now I'm like, just wait for it. Like either you're gonna get a setup or you're not, but you ain't finna force a trade. You gotta just come into every session with that mentality. Like either you're gonna trade or you're not gonna trade, but you're not gonna force a trade. You gotta wait for the setup. Yeah, they holding it as of right now. You guys see if they eventually get exhausted. Take a look at the 5 minutes on the footprint chart. So far, this area has been very important, as we can see. Let's see what YM is doing today. I don't even have YM marked up. I gotta do that. I'll probably do a live chart session over the weekend, probably Sunday before market open to mark up all my charts, get new levels, and then I'll add YM. I had YM marked up, but decided to just delete everything and start fresh. Because I didn't delete everything. I just haven't updated it. So I had a zone up here which held, or zone down here, I should say, which held. And then here we had this move here once we reclaimed and had all the right conditions. It just went crazy. All off of this liquidity here. Before a big move up that ended up breaking, see, this high here and this high here. So very important, this liquidity here. So once it dinked around a little bit, you could have caught some scalps off of these zones and all that fun stuff. But once it actually came back and retested the bottom of the zone twice and couldn't close below, meaning that whoever entered here protected this zone twice, then you see it close outside of it and then just go crazy. So I'm not sure if that's something to where if you get a rejection of the bottom of a liquidity zone twice, it does that. I'm not sure, or multiple times, but as soon as it gets back out of the zone, once it retests, that could be an indication. But once it retests the bottom of the zone, so something to keep in mind just when you're looking at your charts and you have your strategy that you're putting together. It's not about saying, hey, I got my strategy and then boom, that's all my strategy will ever be. It's about noticing little nuances within your strategy that give you just slight more edge to help you make money. And then I have a little notebook that I keep at my trading desk. So once I have like an idea like that or something, I'll write it down. So then over the weekend I can test it. So I'm gonna call that one the edge of liquidity. I don't know if I like that name necessarily. It sounds kind of kinky, but we'll revise the name. Let's see. We'll revise the name and make it PG. And then in parentheses, check stream or check stream recording. So then I can reference, and we are about 40 minutes in. Perfect. Okay. Let's go back to NQ. So yeah, as we can see, we got right back up to the top of this liquidity zone and then rejected on NQ. Another reason why the way that we look at liquidity is just so accurate. We totally rejected the bottom of this liquidity zone and we closed below this sniper point, which for me is a bearish sign essentially. And so there was no top side liquidity created at that point, so there was nothing for me to confirm price at that point. So that's why on NQ I'm not really paying attention to anything, just because I didn't like the way that the 4-hour candle closed. But on ES, ES makes a little bit more sense to me that it could still kind of hang out within this range between liquidity, since we didn't get a close outside of liquidity yet. I gotta keep it PG. You already know, I try my darndest. Almost said another way, another word that would have totally spun it, but I try my darndest. There we go. To keep it PG. But yeah, so what I like about the reclaim entry strategy as well is it keeps you out before the market is ready. So let's say if you have an idea, you know where you're going to be bullish. Once you have that kind of bias in your head, you're like itching to go. You're like, oh, I just want to enter a trade. What I like about the 5-minute strike zone reclaim entry strategy is it forces you to wait until the market is actually ready. And let's say it doesn't ever reclaim this today, right? Let's say we just fall and we don't reclaim any type of support level, then I just simply didn't enter a trade. And even though I had a bias, which I'm like, hey, I think it's going to be going up because it bounced off of this liquidity zone, and it most likely want to go and at least tap this liquidity zone here before potentially continuing or breaking. So I could totally have that bias and just simply be itching to enter and enter early and right here and just be totally just in drawdown right now, which drawdown happens. But it's just better to wait for actual confirmation and not just enter because of FOMO or anything else. And also on the 30-minute, we broke through. We had a little support level here on 30-minute, broke through, reclaim, a lot of sell interest here, but next candle printed was bullish. And so let's say if we do get some type of reclaim on the 5 minute, you know, it just helps with that. I would say there, but that would be not the best risk reward. So maybe here that'd be decent. Probably if we do get the 5 minute reclaim, then I'll likely put my stop below the 15-minute candle if it's been dinking around. But when it's actually ready, it's gonna go crazy. I can feel it. Hold on, pause. That wasn't a good combination of words that I wanted to necessarily say in conjunction with each other. I didn't, yeah, never mind. Yeah, but right now we're pushing back up. Right now we're pushing back up, and yeah. So if we're able to reclaim here, we'll want to wait just for better risk reward. We want to wait for it to retest this area here. So I'd probably enter at if we get the close above, wait for a little bit of a pullback. Just looking at risk reward here. Let's do some hypotheticals right now. Let's say if we close here on there, you could put your stop here, and that'd be just under 101. But if we wait until we get about to if we get the reclaim right and we get to 492.50, then we put our stop below this candle here, and we try to do our profit here. That's over 101, which isn't the best in itself, but trying to keep it as good as possible. But I won't try to be a perfectionist on this. Just simply we'll try to do my thing as much as possible. And we're not ready to reclaim. What are we? Are we not ready to reclaim? Got 10 seconds. If we get the reclaim in the next 10 seconds, I will enter, but or it could happen on the next candle. But they are protecting this area like crazy. Got above the 9 EMA though, so that's good for the first time in a while. Let's see what we can do. So no trade yet, and no entry yet. So just imagine if we would have just been so excited to enter and not wait. This would be so annoying. So price action. Just would have been stuck in that trade. While we're waiting for the next, yeah, price action is crazy this week. It's yeah, late session rallies and stuff like that. And I know that there was earnings yesterday on Nvidia, so maybe I'm sure yesterday that impacted the price action from yesterday. But I want to see what these concepts kind of look like on Bitcoin while we wait for the next 5 minute candle. So let's see where we got liquidity. All right, so yeah, so we got some liquidity here. So Bitcoin currently is in. So peep the bounce off of liquidity zone I drew. I don't know when, last week, 2 weeks ago. I don't know. I don't really watch Bitcoin like that, but every once in a while I'll check it out to see. But we have liquidity here. Actually, we could actually call it. So we could say it's here. We could call it here. You could either say this bullish candle here, which in the way that we normally do it would be, you would find on a down move. So we had this point here was broken by this leg here. It was tested by this one, but completely broken and closed through by this leg here. That liquidity started there. So we got that, but this candle here is within that. So then this candle becomes a liquidity point, which you can see the market's been reacting to and respecting. The sniper point would be here. You can see market, even though it's like, yeah, it would make sense. Once you have a liquidity zone established, support and resistance within that zone become like sniper points for you to get really good information on what the market may want to do. So we'd have one up there too. And so you can see like close up there, wick. So just like once you find these liquidity zones, you can get such accuracy from them, which is one of the reasons why I really love the liquidity sniper strategy. But you don't just take blind trades off of those levels. I've lost some trades by thinking that was how the best way it should work, and I realized now you gotta just wait. Even when you're super accurate, like, you still gotta wait. Be patient. It's the name of the game. We get paid to wait. So I got about 30 minutes before I got to start getting ready for work. It'd be amazing if I got to take a setup today, but if I don't, I'm on a 4-day winning streak right now. So I haven't won every trade in those 4 days, but ending the day green on every single one of those days has been pretty awesome. We're gonna do anything. Starting to hold above the 9 EMA. I reclaimed this little zone here, but I want to see this one get reclaimed. Hell, could have entered there, but no. I'm trying to really do what I say I'm going to do.
Mario said, what's up, bro?
Hey, good morning, big dog.
He said, hey, good morning, big dog.
Oh, I see.
Get prepared,
That's what's up.
birthday.
Yep. You know, my Cash App, with my Cash App set up. Yeah. Let's see if we hold and get a retest of this. We just need to hold, retest, take off. See how the AQ's looking off that reclaim, so you can see the reclaim there. Most likely when I come in. either most likely. So since it did already test this liquidity on NQ, it's likely going to want to come up to this 23,800-ish level up here, retest the top of this liquidity zone. So that's likely what will happen. And you can see that concept in play. Broke there, reclaimed with that candle there. And then your stop would have been below here. So if we essentially waited for a retest of that there, ooh, stop would have been there. We could go there. You got a 2-to-1 just off that setup there if we would have took it, but I wasn't interested in trading NQ today. I'm stalking ES, even though ES is pushing all the way up to where the take profit would have been. So we'll see if we get the opportunity off a retest. If we do, it'll be boom, boom. This I'll probably do the 98.50 level, which was my take profit yesterday. Yep. All right, let's see if we get the retest. Looks like the reclaim on the 15-minute. So if we do get after we get this reclaim, we'll hope that price comes back down to retest before taking off. So like down here. Stop loss at 86.50 level. If we get the retest of waiting for it to come back down to the 92, somewhere around the 92.50, maybe 93. Yeah, I'll enter at the 93. It also lines up with the 9 EMA as well. One more point. All right, I'm in.
Order filled.
I'm in long position and stop loss is the 487. Stop loss 487. And take profit is 498.50. Could definitely go higher, but I'm not banking on it. I just want the higher probability setup. That's all I want. So let's see if we can just get that push here. All right, come on. go. Did you enter the trade too, Domingo? Nice. Nice. All right, let's see. Come on, come on, come on. Moving. Since we're so close. Should I move my stop? Yeah, we're up like 5 points. I'm gonna move my stop. My stop's at break even. Let's see if we get that little baby push up. I don't like the stall right now, but let's see if we just get that one little extra piece of push up. Come on. We're 50 cents away. I'm just gonna exit, whatever. I'm out.
Order filled.
Okay, I'm out. I'm good. I feel good about that. Ugh, patience, baby. Awesome. I'm sure it's gonna wake up and give us the 50 cents, but I gotta start getting ready for work. So I'm just like, let me go ahead and take this little, all right, cool, hit, take profit, hit, let's go. So either way, and see how it's reacting to liquidity. So you don't need to, I wouldn't put my take profit directly on the liquidity. I typically try to put it 50 cents or, at least 25. This is 25 cents, but at least like somewhere within $1 of it, I guess, depending on what you kind of think. So see how we have that perfect tap of that. And then gotta make sure I flatten everything, make sure I got no orders left on the table. And yeah, so I guess I will end the stream there. Yeah, decent move on the day. Just trying to build the accounts up and gonna go from there. So hopefully this stream was helpful. And yeah, stay on Jamaica. I'm gonna end the stream, not